So we are now recording the December 15th, 2017 Small Business Accounting Advisors. Hello, everyone.
Hello, welcome.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hi.
Hello, Misha. So, Misha, is it snowing up there? So lost in your business, you have not a clue.
No, not right now.
We were supposed to get 2 to 3 inches. We're now working on 5 to 6.
Yikes.
We got slammed last week. Earlier in the week.
Well, yeah, we got slammed last week, and we're getting slammed this week, and this is totally unexpected. Like, I have a scanner, and I am listening to accidents all over the county. The roads, the road crews were not prepared, not like they don't have salt, not like there haven't been plows out, but when there's a big difference between 3 inches and 6 inches.
Yeah, there is.
You know?
I know yesterday we got a dusting. When I say a dusting, I mean it literally just coated
everything. And well, that's part of the problem thing, I think, too, because we were slammed, and it's never really warmed up and completely melted. So now it's snow over top of ice, and you really don't see. And a lot of people are slipping and falling, along with our friend Seth, who lives in California with ice problems, goes and gets on an ice skating rink and breaks his shoulder. Crazy.
Lordy.
I know.
Yeah, sitting there with his arm in a sling.
Seth broke his shoulder?
Yes,
Yeah.
he did.
Rough.
Ice skating.
To heal.
Yeah.
I was going to ask if he'd been playing tackle football, but then they told me that.
No. Well, we give him healing prayers and thoughts.
Absolutely, we do.
Well, he's using his text to his speech to text on his mobile to do his writing now.
Oh,
shoulder did he
absolutely.
break?
I was actually thinking about getting the dragon. The dragon.
That's what I was thinking. That maybe he was using that.
Well, there's 2 versions of dragon. One is like a smaller where you don't get as much, and then there's a second one that works with Microsoft Office that you can use. I don't know how you would use Excel, but they say that you can use it with Excel and with Word. I'd like to know, does it work with Google? I really am not using Microsoft that much anymore. So if it works with Google, I'll let you guys know.
It works with QuickBooks. It works with what you do is you say the commands. And when you say the commands, it does that. So I used to use it a long time ago. I don't anymore because I can do faster with my hands than with my mouth. And when I used it, it wasn't as good at the recognition of your voice. The new stuff is much better.
Right.
Much better. So I think it can be used with almost any.
Well, I know you had to get a professional version in order to use it with the Microsoft products, with Excel and with Word. And I do actually still have Word on my desktop, so I could get it just for that. Looks like we had Dwayne coming in. It's been a long time since we've seen Dwayne, too. Hey, Dwayne, are you with us? Silence. Maybe he's having technical issues.
Could be. He's trying to join us anyway.
Maybe in a couple minutes we'll see him.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. So it was supposed to be a short day for me today with our hangout. I was supposed to have my Christmas party with my historical society, but with all the snow that's happening, canceled to next week.
Good. Well, at least they had it. We're having it early enough you can move it to next week. That's nice.
Right. Although I don't know how many, it's so close to Christmas, I don't know how many people have that time available.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't do lots of things, so I'm almost always. There's Dwayne. We see Dwayne. although we don't hear him yet.
You have your mic on, Dwayne?
He's working on it.
Okay. I'm not sure he's even hearing us yet. So Linda, tell us what's been happening. While we're waiting for Dwayne to get technical,
Sees my hand.
join us.
We
Can't
can't.
hear you, Dwayne.
No.
Can't hear you. Can't
No
hear
sound. No. No. You're not muted.
No. Technical.
You don't have a pair of headphones stuck in your computer, do you? We can't hear you. No. Because when I put the headphones in, the sound is in the headphones.
Yeah, try your headphones. See what happens.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yay, yes.
Okay.
How are you?
Okay, how are all of you? Happy holidays to all of you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Same back.
Hi.
Are you leaving, Misha? Oh, Misha's having some problems.
Hi, Misha.
Hey, how you doing?
All right.
Give me a second. I gotta whip out my honey badger. Hold on.
Misha's having some problems logging on to e-services.
Yes.
Join the crowd.
Yeah. If you don't have your documentation right, e-services about bounce you out.
I've been bounced out about 3 or 4 times so far.
Yeah, it's a big hassle.
Yeah, I can't figure out what I'm doing wrong.
Yeah, I read the instructions and everything, but I'm still not clear as to what they want.
Well, the key is don't go into the get transcript, because that's where they're going to ask you to change, go through this process. If you go in through the regular portal, you're going to get locked out.
Okay, so
Tiffany was with us and then she left.
I don't know.
So Dwayne, have you been paying attention to the new tax bill?
yeah. What do you think about it?
I think if you have real estate, it's going to be a real problem, especially if they're going to change the 121 exclusion to 5 years.
Well, the California people, the New York people, New Jersey people are going to be hurting pretty bad.
Yeah, they are.
Yep. I mean, it's going to depress the market, because who's going to want to sell their house and take a $500,000 capital gain?
Yeah.
Right.
We're saying that I read a big op-ed thing in the newspaper this morning. They're saying that they're expecting the value of houses in California to drop by 10%.
Well, I think it would depress the rental real estate market too, because a lot of times people will move back in for the last 2 years and then sell it to get to 121.
Yeah. Well, also, people who have big families are going to be hurting because.
Oh yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, no personal exemptions.
Yeah.
Let's discriminate against all the big families.
But I think if you have more, if you have more than one kid, you're kind of, being disadvantaged, I think.
Yeah. I mean, if you have 5 to 10 kids, all those exemptions are going to go away.
Well, I think it comes if you have more than one kid.
Yeah.
I think that's where the break, the crossover point is, which is kind of, and they don't seem to be focusing on that. That's what I don't understand, is that people don't seem to be picking up on that.
Well, you would think a lot of the Midwest people would have kind of locked in on that.
Well, I guess in the Midwest, they don't itemize as much because the property values aren't as high and they don't pay as much in interest, from what I understand. And so so increasing the standard is, has more impact for them as opposed to these high costs or high,
So they don't pay high property tax or high state tax, right?
Yeah, I think so. And so they don't get like in the state of Washington, we get the sales tax, but that's kind of getting flushed too. I mean, because that was part of I heard some speculation. Some of the bigger states may go to, increasing the property taxes or the sales tax, and then, reduce the rate on the income tax.
Hey, Dennis, have you decided whether or not you're going to take on any cannabis clients?
I almost had one, but I decided no, it's not worth it.
We do have someone that will be. Linda,
Who's
this is a segue for you.
Oh, yeah, I intend to make my niche doing all the new businesses that are doing business with marijuana.
Okay.
It's
That's
gonna be
big.
big.
Linda, that's big money.
Just expect to get paid in cash.
Yeah, that's it. You're right.
And the cash
Or-
I earn,
Or
I
maybe,
put in
or
the bank.
maybe,
Linda,
maybe-
you have to hire security.
or maybe product. I don't know.
I also got a new dog. I have a Chihuahua Yorkshire Terrier to keep my
Oh, okay. All right. How do you like your dog?
real fierce.
What is her name now? Did you name her Trouble? Was it?
Tara. I left it Tara because she comes to that. So
Okay.
I think Miss, you got through.
around and call
Looks
her.
like Misha has successfully, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
That's all right. She got in, I think.
Don't even mess with me on a Friday at 5:30. For real.
Success, huh?
What? They wanted to know how many times I went to the bathroom today. What kind of foolishness is this? See, here's the thing. They're trying to prevent theft and fraud and all this stuff, but they don't realize the folks already got the stuff and can get in at any time.
I know.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
All that, and I got to go through that again for every single section?
Oh yeah, you have to every time you log in, you have to get the IRS mobile, go to IRS app or whatever, and then they, it's kind of like other two-factor authentications where you'll get the text on your. Yeah, it's gonna be a real pain in the ass, especially if you're.
Do you have
All right, it's a good thing I'm adding different services and potentially might be getting out of taxes. What? I can't deal with this.
So is it,
Now I got in. Now I don't even want to bother going through the rest of it.
Yeah.
We're talking about the e-filing.
yep.
Yeah,
Sarah?
e-services. Yeah.
I tried yesterday and it said the service was down.
I tried yesterday.
I was wondering.
I keep getting locked out. They say IRS doesn't recognize my information. I've been locked out for
Right.
24 hours.
Yeah, I've got. I mean, there's whole forums with everybody's.
Oh, it does
They
look
said
kind of
that
pretty now. Ooh,
they
look
said that they're gonna work Saturday, and they're gonna have teams on line or teams that we can call to try to get people. The only reason I have an e-file account is to do the 941, and that goes through QuickBooks. So how does that work with two-factor?
Well,
And who's going to use what cell phone to get the text message, Sarah?
what has to
You
be
have
a
bunch
personal
of
phone.
people in- Yeah.
Can't be
Well-
a business phone. Has to be a personal phone.
Yeah, I know. So all these people who don't have smartphones are gonna have to get one. Well, the account's in my own name, of course, and my fingerprints and all that. So yeah, it'd be my cell. But it is a pain when you have staff doing this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess you won't allow the staff to get in. You'll have to be the one that handles that. Talk about efficiency.
Mm.
Yep. And if they have this new tax code, it's going to be really a pain for payroll if they get this new tax code and it's effective like January 1st, 2018.
Hey, I have a question. Is it true that they're going to try to make this effective as of February 2018?
Well, I heard it was supposed to take effect on the 1st of January and so that's going to impact payroll deductions if you're basing it on exemptions that you're not going to get anymore,
Right. Now, how are they going to work that out?
Who knows?
So the people get the exemptions, then they learn about the law, and then oops.
Well, they usually factor in, your withholding based on the number of preferences you claim, which are kind of based on the number of exemptions you plan on claiming,
Right.
So everyone's going to have to rewrite their software in the next 2 weeks, right?
They're still on,
Everybody's got to get W-4s out again.
they're
Yeah.
still on XP.
I think sorry. I
Okay,
think
I don't feel so bad now.
should be just all lined up and shot.
Well,
All right, I fixed it.
it's not going to impact 2017. It'll just impact 2018, right?
Yeah, it
Right.
doesn't affect 2017.
Yeah.
But 2018 is coming up real fast.
Right, but again, if you know stuff is coming, you can adjust before the
Well, you
start
can-
of the year. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You can start prepaying your property taxes and
yeah, like certain things you
A
can
lot of
start
people are
doing.
trying to do that, so.
What a nightmare.
Hey, Sarah, how are you?
I've
All
been
right.
testing 1099s all day. That's a blast.
How do you do that, Sarah? Because I've never done that.
Really? I'll tell
Yeah,
you.
we just send them out.
No. Like,
Are you leaving us?
I've had this client for, I don't know.
Good to see you, Misha. Come back again.
I'm Sarah. Sorry, I told them I was going to be leaving early, and you just popped on. So
I'm waving at you. Can you see?
hi and bye. Huh?
I'm waving at you. Can you see?
Yes, I can see it. I can see it.
Oh, yes.
yeah, your name's flashing on and off.
I am trying to do this whole thing where I actually leave at 6. That's when the company closes.
Nice.
What's wrong with you?
Only to log back in at like 10 and work until 2.
Yeah, who you fooling?
But no, honestly, I have to get a bunch of invoices done and sent because folks need to, do their stuff for the end of the year. So I want to at least get my invoice on their plate so they can potentially pay it before the end of the year and get their expenses and stuff. So I want to do that. Plus, I got to kind of shut the office down and everything. So,
Misha, I hope I don't know if you got any of the snow like we got here, but
I don't know. I didn't even notice it. Is it supposed to snow? I didn't even know it was supposed to snow today.
it's kind of slippery.
Slippery.
Wait, maybe it happened when I wasn't looking. I really need to look out the window because when I came in, it was just blustery cold. And because I am wearing regular shoes, there's no way
No.
I would. Because yesterday I had on boots and like I was the abominable snow woman yesterday.
Keep an extra set of
And
boots
that
at
was
your
only
office.
like a dusting. So maybe it's due to hit us later tonight.
It's not that deep, but
It's hot here.
I noticed coming back from the market, it's a little slippery.
We got a lot. We were only supposed to get 2 to 3. We're working on 4 to 6 now.
Hang on, let me check and see.
And Sarah got all the
You
heat
guys are
now.
scaring me now.
Okay.
It looked like it was coming down like rain, but it was very
Oh, it says light snow possible
fine.
at
Okay.
9 p.m.
So we're the lucky ones right
Yeah,
now.
so it's going to come to us later. But
Okay.
I have my I forgot to tell you guys, my laptop debacle is resolved.
Yay.
So you know what ended up happening? They sent a guy out because I bought on-site support, like next day business on-site support. The guy came out and replaced the hard drive of the brand new laptop. Well, the brand new refurbished laptop that I had gotten 2 days before, like a week before.
That's
And he
awesome.
put in a whole new
Wow.
hard drive. It still didn't work, so they sent me a new one.
Good for
Oh,
you. That's what
good.
you need to do.
No, they sent me a new computer,
Instead
Not
of a
a
refurbished.
refurbished computer.
Nice.
And he
Nice.
had to replace the hard drive on that?
No,
Oh.
they replaced the hard drive on the refurbished.
Okay.
So I sent it back. It had a brand new hard drive. But it wasn't, I don't think it was the hard drive. Something else was off with it. But the one I have, it's a solid state hard drive and it's fast. It's really, really
Must be great.
fast.
Yes.
So
Wonderful.
now I'm looking to potentially get another one and a new desktop and get rid of this clunky one here and kind of just upgrade all the equipment and printer and all of that stuff before the end of the year.
So you really do need to get invoicing.
Yes, 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 yes.
So she needs to invoice so people can pay before next week.
It's called QuickBooks Payments, ACH only. So there's no long wait, and plus it's only going to be $1. So I'm like, yay!
Nice.
I get most of the money. But it's been good to see you guys.
Yep.
Hopefully I can pop back on more now that things are kind of trying to calm down, but then you got to deal with tax season, and you guys
Yep,
may
that's
not
coming up. We'll see how long that's.
You may have to just live
deadline
vicariously through my Facebook page and the posts I put there daily. And my growing. So my glasses collection is up to, I want to say 17 or 18.
Wow.
Yes, I found this one recently. This is my newest edition.
I like
It's
the
blue.
green.
Oh, glasses.
cool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the sides are adorable.
Oh, they are. They're precious.
And I gotta find them. I'm thinking of hanging them in my little section right here. I'm gonna kind of reconfigure this area
Oh, okay.
and
Got it.
put the little shelves and put them on the shelf or something.
Yeah.
Office expense?
Of course, I can't do my work without my glasses. I can't.
Oh my gosh. Don't make her do that on there.
No, these are just these are my Dollar Tree readers. No, I buy this stuff on my personal account because I use them here and I use them at home, and
Right.
You're
it's
only
just
allowed to see
when
it
I'm
work.
looking at the computer. Huh?
You're only allowed to see it at work. See it work.
Yeah, apparently. But have a good weekend, everybody.
All right, you too.
Bye.
Bye.
Here, bye-bye.
So Sarah, you were going to tell Linda how to verify 1099s.
Right. So I don't do any 1099s unless I'm afforded the opportunity to test the vendor list and general ledger. And
Okay.
I've never found a client who's perfect. So, but so what I do is, the very best way to test is to pull up a check register sorted by payee, not vendor, payee. All right. So I have this report memorized in all of my clients' memorized reports. Let me get one.
Mhm.
And it'll make sense to you when I tell you what the setup is. Oh, this thing is barely crawling. I mean, it's just
By pay. Now, don't you do them?
what I want to see. What I want to see is every single check written for the year
Mm-hmm.
sorted by payee.
Got it.
So it's a transaction list sorted by payee, just bank accounts. I add a column for the EIN. Okay.
Mhm.
If they're cash basis, it's super simple because I can read it and I can just glance over and see where it was posted. So I can see what kind of expense it is. Because sometimes I'll get to, Joe Blow LLC and I don't know whether they bought product or it's the yard guy, lawn guy.
Got it.
So, and if they're accrual, it's a little tricky. Only because if I have one that I'm unsure about, what I do is I drop that report into a PDF and pull it up on my right monitor so I can make notes on it.
Okay.
And the first ones will be, God, that look how long that took. Okay. So like I'm doing one right now, right? They've been a client for 28 years. I've done everything in my power to train them. So, typical things like the very first checks listed were checks made out to customer names. Okay.
Don't you just love that?
Yeah. So, which is fine because I can look at the other side. What you do is you have a column. Here, let me look at the display. Memo. Yeah. When I do the modify report display this year, so this is, SSN, tax ID, split, amount. That's usually enough. Okay. And then on the filter, I say all bank accounts.
Can you guys see what she's doing?
No, that's a real data. So I'm just telling you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I can't show you. Okay. So all bank accounts this year to date. So when I pull it out to my PDF, I name it, I've tested through December 15th. The transaction type, say multiple,
Mm-hmm.
and it's check, bill payment, just checks and bill payments.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So then I pull that up. And I can tell, like, this client will write a regular check for a AR refund.
Yeah.
Okay. And so they're customers. I don't care. It's not going to hurt anything. And
Right.
then I just start scrolling down. And I got one. Oh, so a couple different things. We had some turnover in the middle of the year. So I try to teach them to do last name first. So
Yeah.
Smith, John, and then put something in the vendor name that tells me what the W-9 is. Either needs a W-9, W-9 equals IND, W-9 equals P for partnership, W-9 equals Inc. Okay? That way, when I'm reading these reports, I know I've already touched it.
Yeah.
Okay? So I came down, like this one says 3C web content, and in brackets, I put W-9 individual. Okay? They've been paying this vendor for many, many years. Well, guess what's right above
And
it?
you use this as the vendor type? That's where you have them put that?
No, I have it in the name.
Oh, I have it in the name too.
I have it in the name, and then on print on check as is the pretty name.
It's the regular name, yeah. I do that too with mine.
That way, when I'm reading general ledgers, I've got lots of help.
Yeah, everything's not buried invisibly underneath. It's right there where you can see it.
Right in my face. And
Yep.
also, I'll say, like I've got her data pulled up on my left monitor, and I'm editing vendor names. I'm like stars, W-9, okay? Which means the next time she goes to pay somebody, she'll be in her face. Plus, I'm putting it in Smart Sheets so I can have a checklist.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I just set them up for Track 1099, so all they do is go into Track 1099 and invite their vendors to send a W-9. That's new as of a couple weeks ago.
Nice.
So I'm finding, typical stuff like this one's an individual, right? The web content, whatever company name is the DBA name. So and there's their social right there. And right above it is a duplicate vendor name. All right. So on Smart Sheets, I'm like, are they a new entity? Did something change? Because now it's 3C digital instead of 3C web content. So it could be they became a LLC or something. So that becomes a training thing. Like, should I merge them if it's the same? Or is it a new entity? Or, so reading these check registers is just invaluable. And then when I got back, then what started over in the A's again, I knew I was in vendors.
So that's a lot of names to go through for some people.
Oh my goodness. The one I'm going to do on Monday, I can't even tell you. So this one in the PDF is 60 pages. But it is the most accurate. So like I have the PDF up on the right side, and I grab that red circle, and I'll circle. Like here at law office of whatever Clark PC, and there's no EIN. Ding, 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 ding.
Got it.
There's one.
And so, Sarah, you're doing this all in desktop. This is not possible in
Not
QBO.
possible. No. I don't know what we're going to do when I go to QBO, but
QBO does allow you to put the EIN number in only if you're in Plus. If you're in the lower version, you have no option to put that in anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So I put it in the memo. I hate that I have to do that.
Yeah.
But I can do reports then at that point. I'll run the vendor list and include the memo so that I can see the EIN number.
Because if you see an EIN, it's got a W-9. Now, can you change the vendor? Now, the vendor name, you could put a hint in the vendor name.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Sometimes when somebody's an employee and they also get reimbursed money.
I put bracket reimburse in the vendor name.
Too, but like I put the middle initials. I'll have the employees are all, their middle name is W-2.
Doesn't
Like
that,
W-2.
that doesn't print on the W-2 though?
No, because we're not using payroll.
Oh, yeah.
None of my clients use a payroll.
Yeah, but so, the ones of us that have been around for a while, we start coming up
Always-
with our own little tricks, right?
And I keep trying to tell them, a 1099 vendor is not an employee, and do not refer to them as that.
I know.
Calling
I
them as
have that problem
around somebody.
Mm-hmm.
all the time, all the time.
So here's one that I'm finding, a lot of caterers, no W-9s. So these are all training things. As I'm reading this, I'm going, oh, the new gal doesn't know.
Right.
So it goes on the smart sheet to discuss, go get this, and then the other thing, so then I'm finding things like duplicates because I'll have last name, first name, and then a new vendor name is, whatever. So I'm going ahead and fixing them while I've got their live data on one screen.
Yes.
Pet peeve, so many vendors in the T's, the makes me crazy.
Oh, I know.
But put the in the display name.
Yeah,
It might-
exactly.
Real
And
name.
the print on check maybe, but. And okay,
So-
here's something that I can't do. This is one of the reasons I export to another 1099 program.
Yes.
The law office of Margaret K. long last name, attorney PC or something. I mean, it's just like these names are so long, and then they have like 3 rows of addresses,
Right.
phone numbers, and all that stuff. It will not fit in QuickBooks. Won't do it.
No, it won't.
So when I get all happy with the vendor list,
Right.
then QuickBooks lets us print the 1099s all during the year if we're in desktop. So I just print them out on white paper, just plain old paper, just so I can look at the format of the addresses.
Got it.
And then
That's a good idea.
Yeah, so I just take some little tabs and I go through and go, whoop, here's one. Here's one, here's one. So after we export to my 1099 program, we know to go back and edit those names. Well, I mean, we read to nauseam before we send, but still. But another thing that they're real bad about is putting ink. Like they'll say, whatever
XYZ company, right. And
Yeah.
link.
So I'm trying to teach, and these, you know what, these are things that we just do without even thinking, because we've been working with payables our whole careers, the last name first thing. But if you write a check out to, Janny King or whatever they are, and that's what's in the vendor name, but you look on the invoice and it's Janny King of Savannah Inc., that they need to, if it's a corporation, they need to write the check out to a corporation.
Yes, you're
And
right.
it prevents fraud too, because somebody can go down to any bank, open up a checking account for Jenny King or JK or something, and it can be a protection thing for somebody not to abscond with your, checks.
Right.
Well, that's a common way of stealing money.
Yeah, that you open up a checking account that's similar.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. That's, it's a very common way of bookkeepers committing fraud, where they'll create a company, and then they'll have their wives or husband's name as the owner, and use a separate bank account to funnel money into.
Right. That's why I hate when people write out checks to ASB. That's not the name of my company.
Oh.
The other thing that I'm doing while I'm in here is whenever I hit a check that's posted to contributions, I pop over to GuideStar and see if they're a 501c3.
Oh, got it.
So sure enough, and this is a banking problem. If they really want to get to the bottom of fraud, the banks need to straighten up, because there's a check made out to the Susie Smith Scholarship Fund. Okay. And in the computer, it was made out to a school. That thing cleared the bank. There's no, you know, oh, I know what it was. When I looked at it again, print on check as was the school. The vendor name was the scholarship. And that messed me all up.
Wow.
So they would have cleared the bank. But you do see a lot of things where they put the restriction name, like the committee name or something, on the check, and there's certain banks will cash. Let you
Yes, they
deposit
will.
them.
Yes,
Yeah,
they
they don't-
will.
They don't really check them, you know.
Well, it
So
depends.
Mariette is popping in to say hi, everyone. You don't see her. She's here, though. We haven't seen her in a while. She's
Stopping
doing
by to say
amazing
hi.
things with Intuit these days. She's like an Intuit superstar.
Hi, everyone. I'm actually popping in just for a couple of minutes. How are you all?
Doing great.
Good.
I was
weather's
watching
weird.
your what? Oh, the weather's weird?
Yeah, I was putting stuff back up in the attic today, and I got all overheated, so I went outside to cool off. It was hotter outside than it was in the.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's warm over here with Linda and I too. I was actually popping into your video, your YouTube, your meeting from a couple weeks ago. I loved it. The one where you guys were all getting kind of supporting each other to do more video marketing. It was a good one.
Oh, okay. Yes, yes.
It inspired me to make the tip video that I did on Saturday. I think you guys probably, some of you watched it, the one where I was just saying, just go out there and do it.
Yeah.
Don't worry so much. Because I know we all do that sometimes. We worry and want it to be perfect. And that's the beauty of Facebook Live, that it's not supposed to be perfect. It's supposed to be natural. So
Well,
that's
the
awesome.
video you did for QB Connect was just incredible. That was.
Oh, my gosh.
Did you guys like it?
Oh my gosh, that's
I
great.
loved watching it.
So
I
Mary,
did it for all of you, and I did it for everyone that can't make it. But honestly, who I do those videos for is for all those people that don't understand like how it can literally transform you. I mean, these conferences, I give them so much credit in the changes that have done in my life and the effects it's made, and the revisioning of so many things I've done. Like, it's crazy, and it's so hard to for people to believe you. So I try to do my best to at least share it in the videos, and maybe they can think like, wow, is that for real? Because it's transformative. Like, it literally could change your life. It's amazing.
I wanted to just crawl through I just wanted to crawl into the video and go.
Oh, well, and the thing is, I try to put in as many of our friends, or at least our friends' friends. So that way it's like you can feel excited about your friends. It's so funny. My brother, he helps me. He's the one that edits them and puts the music, and I just put everything in order on Camtasia. And he's like, oh my God, there's so many people. Do you really want that many people? And I said, that's the point. I want everyone. I want as many people as possible. So
That's the part that I enjoyed the most. I enjoyed seeing all my friends all over the place.
Good. I'm glad. I'm so happy you guys said that, because, he was giving me pushback. Like, are you sure someone's going to actually want to watch this? Like, who are those people? I'm like, trust me. The people that want to watch it are the people that know those people. So it works out.
Absolutely.
So that's awesome. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. That was really good. It was hard work.
Thank you,
but
Marianne.
it was worth it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. So how's everybody doing? Any big updates? What did I miss? I know I've been missing a lot, but I think I was telling Adam a few weeks ago, it's just actually a perfect example. This is literally during the time I'm with my kids. And they're like, Mom, are you going to get on the phone? And I'm like, I miss my friends. I needed to stay away. I promised them I wouldn't do it anymore, but I need to get my fix. I miss you guys. I totally do, but it's hard.
So Mariette,
It's hard. It's my kids. Yeah.
so Mariette, have you been paying attention to the new tax bill?
Oh my, who hasn't been? Yeah, yeah.
So what do you
It's
think?
just such a roller coaster, though. It gives me a stomach ache. It's just a roller coaster, is what it is.
Well, I'm looking at the CNN headlines right now. It says Rubio Corker back to yes.
Yeah, I thought that's what I mean. It's like no, and then the way he was saying no was about like $3,400 credit, and then it was like yes, but now it's like, well, what are the other two going to say? You know, it's just there's so much going on in our world that I'm the kind of person that bad or good, I don't take a position until it's actually a position. Like there's like nothing to take a position on yet. It's just so
Until it's
crazy, and
passed,
in
that's
general.
right. But the problem is they wait so late in the year, and it makes it so difficult, you know, to start 2018 when you don't even know what the rules are going to be.
Yeah,
No,
yeah, but you know what I don't like is I don't like the drama where people will get so like hot and like just almost to the point. It's not even political. It's like activist, and you're like thinking it hasn't even happened yet. Like, hold up, like let it happen, and then let's interpret. Like I don't like to interpret something that hasn't happened yet. It's hard. It's really hard. So it's a tough one.
And the second crazy thing is all the apps being or dying and being eaten up by other apps.
Oh, there was one yesterday. Shoot. I was going to tell you guys. It was like, what?
The latest one that I knew of was Zift is buying. I don't know if you guys use Zift, but that's the marketing program that.
So what happened to them?
Use. And they are buying up Elastic Grid. I have never heard of Elastic Grid.
Oh, wait a minute. I know what it was. It was Wild Apricot.
What?
Wild Apricot.
Oh, that's the website. That's the website.
That's a nonprofit membership type website, and they are.
Yeah. What about it?
They got sold.
Oh my gosh! Because I use that for one of the nonprofits I'm on board on.
Yeah. So apparently it's two guys named Dimitris or something. They're from Russia or something. Anyway, he wrote a letter saying that since we were bought out, a couple months ago, and I was sticking around to make sure that my baby was okay, and now we're off to other things. And come to find out, so then I click on what he's doing in the future, and he's when you start talking about blockchain, there's all these different companies that are developing the blockchain, and one's called Ethereum or whatever. He said his son started that.
You need to pick better names that you can at least
that you can actually remember and say. But I was just like, okay, so this guy's like a serial entrepreneur, startup type person, and I just started reading his bio. It's just like, look at this guy, but never heard of the company that bought him. And that's another one of those companies that's been run so well that you just
which one? The Wild Apricot?
Yeah, their blog.
Yeah, I wonder who bought them out. Yeah, I really like it for the nonprofit. I think they really got nonprofit web design right. Hopefully that'll stay the way it is because it was a nice design. Well, we'll see. You hope for the best. Again, that's another one. I know a lot of people get up. Oh my God, what is it going to be like? Let's wait and see.
We don't know.
We don't know yet. I'm more, you know me, I'm half full all the time. So let's wait and see before we start throwing them all these tomatoes and say how horrible it's going to be. Let's just wait and see, So,
well, the other thing I wanted to talk about was David Leary put something out there about LastPass and a vulnerability.
So what?
Again?
So what?
LastPass and a vulnerability.
Oh yeah, right.
What?
I know.
Oh, it can be. You can copy and paste it somewhere.
People can get in. People can get in a certain way. I forget exactly. He spelled it out, but like, oh no. Oh no.
I've got thousands of passwords in LastPass. Thousands.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. But there's a way that people can hack into your account and get all those passwords.
Well, you know how we were talking about app fatigue, and there's just too many choices and too many the stress of helping people come up with decisions, and then if it doesn't work, it's going to come back on you, and and so it's Misha had stuck around. So she had the whole thing with the laptop. And of course, I'm just segued right from software into hardware. But at Thanksgiving, I bought 3 laptops because we had gone down to Best Buy to test them out, and the sale was so great, we got them. Okay, so we get them back, and Mark won't let me open them because he has to do research, and he has to compare, and he has to do all this. And they're consumer grade laptops, not business grade laptops, and the warranty would have to be through that geek something. And
Right.
Anyway, and I really wanted laptops with a 10 key on it, but then the keyboards get real. Anyway, so they've been in the box. Well, I've been, gently nagging him to let's make a decision. And finally, it's too many choices. Too many features, too many this, too many. And so, he got upset with me, and then I started making a grid, how I do. And we finally sat down the other night and lined up 4 laptops and everything from the type camera to the type hard drive. And then he sat online and read reviews. You know what we're going to end up keeping? Those 3 days.
The 3 that you originally picked in the beginning.
So here's the thing. We could do like an entry level Inspiron. What is it? The Inspiron laptops or whatever. It was tempting because it comes with the 4-year on-site maintenance. But they were throwing in Adobe for $79.
Nice.
That was like, but anyway, it's hard, and I'm like,
well, I have to ask you, Sarah, how much of a laptop do you really need these days? Really, a Chromebook could almost work in many cases.
Well, we're heavy into desktop.
Right.
We're on them. I know laptops are not made to be left on like we leave our desktops on all the time, So they've got to be turned off at night. But then now I've got to figure out if one of the gals doesn't take their laptop home and they decide to work from home the next day, then they can't dial in because they turned off their laptop.
Right.
So we'll figure out how to get them into the terminal server and all that. So it just opened up a whole nother.
Yeah.
But we needed, new problems to get over.
Yeah, we needed Pro instead of Home.
Got it.
Windows.
Right.
Solid state drives, so, Mr. Techie, but we don't need much hard drive because everything's on a server, except that what I'm doing now is I'm partitioning them so that there's a username when they're into the network and the docking station at the office because of the QuickBooks files. So it goes to my Q box that's here at the office.
Right.
Okay. If they take the laptop home, they have to log in with another name to a second Q box that resides on the laptop. That was the other reason we wanted newer laptops, is so we could make sure the hard drives are encrypted.
Got it.
And now you want to wonder, do you want a laptop at work and a laptop at home?
Well, what happened was I don't want them to have to use like their own machines.
Got it.
But they're cheap enough now at this point that you could have 2.
Yeah. So, and all of us said, if we do go home, we've got regular monitors, regular keyboards. It's really just a computer.
Right.
But, Karen will be, maybe 2 weeks in the hospital with her daughter. We finally getting a kidney.
Yay.
We've been waiting for 2-3 years for this kidney. So yeah, y'all keep her in your hearts and prayers next week.
Yeah.
And
for a Christmas miracle.
A Christmas miracle is right. That's right. So
Okay, well, we're almost out of time.
Yeah,
I did want to mention that I put the link to beta testing in our group. They're looking for new beta testers. It's a very good way of getting free software every year. If you beta test, that is one of the prizes that they give you, is the free software, so you can have a totally current version of QuickBooks and not have to buy it. So I know
Yeah.
they're looking for testers.
ProAdvisor.
Well, you buy the Pro Advisor, you know, the package.
And all of that.
Right,
so,
right.
yeah.
But if there is somebody that is supporting somebody, that's a way of getting current versions.
Oh, that's a good way for them to get the current version. Yeah.
Right.
Do you still get it early like we used to?
Yes. Every year that I have done it, I go through the beta testing and I'll have like a beta version, and whatever program, usually I don't put my live data on there, but if I did put my live data, I would be able to use it all the way through the beta testing, and then they give you a not for resale license, which is usually the same as your beta license, only it just unlocks the software, and there is no downtime whatsoever.
Oh, that's good.
So,
Speaking
yeah.
of downtime, we don't have to go into it right now, but I want to come back to it. How many other people had clients that had trouble with QBox? What was the
Oh, QBox, you're saying
version.
there was a new update that came down and
It
they
wasn't so hard,
asked
you just
for
log
login. Yes, I know. I had an issue. I mean, it asked me to log in and then it wouldn't take my password. So, yeah, and I know other people had that happen too. But what I do is I just close everything down, restart, and when I restarted it and went back in, I was fine.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the directions that they sent out said to go out to them on the web and sign in there. And then it all worked fine after that. But I had one client and we had a call in, and it was really weird because the other computer on that network worked fine. No problem. But this computer did not. And TS and Allison and somebody else were all working on it. It took them about 45 minutes. They finally were able to remove it and then reinstall it, and it's not working again.
What?
So
It's not working or it is working?
no, it's not.
Wow.
Able to get into it that day only. And when she came back the next day,
Could not.
Well, was that before the new? Then they came out with another update.
it's after both of the updates.
Oh, really? That's just
Yeah, they didn't work on it until after both of the updates.
I'm sorry to hear that. That's the first time I've ever heard of any problems with
At
QBox.
that location that she can sign on to and do the work as long as the lady's not there, which is fine because usually the only reason the lady's there is to work on QBox, and you can only do one person at a time on QBox. So.
Oh, they're not on a network. Yeah.
So you'll have to keep us informed how that works out.
That's not with their QBox. Their QBoxes are separate.
Sarah, I maybe you want to talk to Mark. There used to be an ability, because you have a server, there used to be an ability if you were an administrator and you had the server, that you could turn on your desktops. I'm not sure about laptops. You could wake them up. They had to be set up. There had to be.
Wake on. Yeah, I don't. That's a good idea.
You
No,
used
I
to
don't-
be able to do that and log me in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which means they're not really off. They're like.
Well, is anything ever really off?
They're powered on, but the
Yeah.
the power cord is going to it. But it's.
That's a good question. That's a good thing for me to ask. Yeah.
But it's usually through the network connection.
Yeah. Huh. Good point. Good point. Well, it's just once it's all set up and running smoothly, because see, everybody's everybody has Windows 10 at home and probably the newest version of Excel and all that at home. But these machines are 5, almost 6 years old, so they're still on 13 Office.
Yeah.
And I never, I haven't moved them to 365, so it's going to be different. But we're behind. We're really, usually I'm cutting edge, but
It's hard to
you
be
know
that way these days.
I used to be a beta test site for Intuit way back in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
I've got the T-shirt, and but I'm a developer, and we still don't get the software early. We get it when everybody else gets it. It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, so we have like no time to test.
Right. I don't know what to say about that because everything's changing. At this point, I feel like we're on a slippery slope. How do you stay at the cutting edge when everything's changing, and it changes drastically according to hardware, software, cloud, all of that is really, really changing. So how do you configure your office and your people to work on it and stay on the cutting edge when everything changes in every 6 months?
Well, that's why Mark, whenever I threaten to go to Gmail or whatever, he gets upset because he's like, well, you're on your own then. But in his office, he has 100 professionals plus admin that he has to deal with in 2 states. Okay. So when he goes to order machines, he's ordering, I don't know how many laptops at a pop, right? So he's been ordering Latitudes with a certain configuration. They're all the same. They're like $2,500 a piece, and he knows what's on every single machine. It isn't like this person's got this and this person's got that. They're all the same. And that's the only way he can manage it. So that's why when he gets to little old me and I need, 4.
Right.
And I'm like, well, Connie, can I have this one over here? And how about this one? And, but I, at one point I'm like, just get me those. But they were so expensive. I don't, they've got auditors that are throwing those things in the back of their truck every day. I mean, they're really used.
Yeah.
It's not like we're really going anywhere. So I don't need that level of a machine.
And that was what I was trying to ask you earlier.
Yeah.
Really, do you need all of that?
Yeah. So I have to have Pro because it's on a network. I have to have certain things. We have, I don't need a big hard drive. Now, because I work in QuickBooks, I need as much memory as I can afford, because it's a dog. I need solid state drives, So, and then it boils down to just, luxury things like one's camera was 720 and the other camera was,
Right.
And so when we finally lined them up, we ended up getting HP Spectre 360s, and the screen is like 4K. I mean, you can watch a movie.
Nice.
So that kind of stuff I don't need for an office machine. But when we were lining up feature by feature, I'm like, ooh, a Pro. Oh, okay. Oh, this is good. Okay. And you know what it boiled down to at the very end?
For me, but I'll get these for the employees.
Right. And then when we were all said and done, Mark's like, man, maybe I should get one for me. But the other thing that maintenance was the hard one. I couldn't put a business next day maintenance plan on these machines. They're consumer machines. They're
right.
So, but I don't know. I've got spare machines. It's not the end of the world.
But you don't need that like you did before.
No.
I mean, once upon a time, if your machine was down, you were dead in the water.
Right. Now I can hop over on my, another machine. Right. I can hop on my iPad and do stuff.
Right.
True. Very, 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 very true. So
So do you need that level of service? Do you really need that level of service?
right. Do I want them to come pick it up? Because chances are, if it's of a laptop, they're shipping it off.
Right.
They're
Right.
not just walking in with a part.
Right.
So that's a little different. Now
Exactly.
they all run hot. That's the other thing was we were I wasn't doing it. Mr. Techie was doing it. There's apparently tests where it shows the temperature like on the top, on the inside, underneath. I'm like, honey, is this really that important?
Now you need those little cooling pads underneath that.
And the consumer laptops are not built to be on 8-10 hours a day.
Right.
And they'll run hot and they will wear out faster. So those higher end laptops, you know, are configured a little differently, but I'm going to put them on, open them. I've got big monitor. I'm trying to figure out where to put this stupid thing. Like behind my monitor, maybe? Just, I don't have enough desk space.
Right, because you can't put your monitor on top of them.
No. And I need it open and up with air around it.
Right. Or you just need one of those cooling pads.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's what I've got on mine.
All I know is the decision is made. We're done.
Okay.
Off my to-dos. You know, you ever have those to-dos that you just can't get to done?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God.
How would Misha put that? Hell to the yes.
Hell to the yes. That's funny. That's funny.
All righty. Well, we're a little bit over time as usual. We have so much fun.
Yeah.
Is there anything else anyone wanted to talk about before we end today?
No, I think I'm good, but it's just a drag when you get the experts from the company working on the computer, and it's very, very difficult for them to fix it. They couldn't uninstall it, and we don't know whether
you're back to QBox again. Yeah.
Yeah, the antivirus was McAfee. They also ran malware bytes or something, but it's funny because what was weird is there's another computer in that same office on the same network running all the same stuff, and it didn't happen on that one.
Yeah.
Well, like Sarah said, computers are configured different no matter what you think. Unless you get exactly the same, like what Mark was saying, you're going to get these kind of differences.
Windows 7 and the other
them
one was
updated.
Windows 10. So that'll make a difference too.
Well, you'll have to let us know what the fix finally is. I'm sure that you will get it.
Yeah, I know. I just found out my daughter's computer, she can't get into QBox either. So I have to talk to her about whether this is happening on her desktop or where it's happening. So,
Right. Oh, sorry.
Linda, there's when you mentioned malware bytes, they also have, and I think it's free. They have a program. I'm trying to think what the name of that thing is. You can download it to your computer, and then when you update it, it updates, with their latest, protection. And if you think you have a problem on your computer, you can tap on it to run a scan. It takes a while, but it's very good. Wish I could see.
well, I paid good money for ESET's Nod 32, which is a lean, mean antivirus.
Yeah.
And there's Windows Defender, and it doesn't slow down my computer or anything. I don't feel that I've never had a problem with an antivirus. Of course, I'm careful. I don't click on a lot of things.
Yeah, Mark won't let me use McAfee.
Oh, here's the name of it. Sophos. SOPHOS.
Okay.
SOPHOS.
OS.
Yeah, Mark's on the FaceTime. Yeah, he can
Right.
hear you.
And I think it's pretty good.
Like,
Mark's at our favorite restaurant where he shows me what's for dinner and I pick an entree and pick a side, right? We do the FaceTime. They're closing December 23rd.
For good?
Oh, so next year you won't be able to have it.
Do
Oh,
y'all hear everybody going, oh? The owner can hear us. Is that who's up behind the can? Oh, okay. All right, gang, I gotta go. Love y'all.
all right.
Have a
See
good-
y'all next week, same time, same place. Have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend.
See you